So people have been asking me about my animation process, and full disclosure, I've never had any animation classes or art classes, so I'm gonna say it's purely like my experience and my preferences when I'm animating. And it's very much very self-indulgent and just works for me, so I'm sure there's other better and faster and more efficient ways to do this, but this is just how I do it. So I animate mainly in Procreate, which is and I use my iPad for it. And it's been pretty cool since it came out with the actual animation settings, so you don't have to adjust the opacity and they have the inbuilt like onion skin and the timeline and stuff. But yeah, as you can see in the video, I usually start with like a really rough sketch of what's gonna happen. Like at that stage, I don't care about it being pretty. Like it's all very rough lines. I just want to know where things are and possibly time out like the keyframes where I want them to be. And then I do one like rendition of the character as a baseline to set like a example of what the other frames are gonna look like. So I put that on the background layer and then I'll delete that later, but for now I put it on the background so I can see it whenever I'm working on any of the layers and it can be there as reference. And then because there's three main elements in this animation, is the character and then the fans and then the little spirit orbs flying around her. So I decided to animate the fans, the character, and the spirit orbs separately, and I used color to distinguish them, and it made things a lot easier than I thought it'd be than if I just like did them frame by frame. So I think I animated the fans first, so I knew where the fans were going to be before I was super sure like how the arms are going to be positioned, because the fans are going to be like red, they're going to stand out, they're going to be like the main like guiding motion of the animation, and this is also going to influence where the spirit orbs are going to be. So I animated the fans first and then the spirit orb towards the end, and then I went back to start with the animation of the clothing and the character. Another thing I kind of dilly-dallied on was the head position of the character. For what I had as a placeholder, I just used one like same picture, but then like it became obvious I'm gonna have to like make the head follow the motion of the body, and like as the center of what's it called, fucking well, as the center of the body moves, like the weight is gonna be on like different legs, and that's gonna change like how the body moves and how the head follows along. So I haven't quite finished that part yet since I kind of didn't finish this. But yeah, the main idea is to like see like the separate parts of the animation and see if you can simplify the process. But my process is pretty fucking convoluted and probably unnecessarily so, but yeah, like if it works, it works. And I do animation mainly to just like relax, so I like don't actually care that much. And I do enjoy the process of like trial and error. But if you don't, I recommend you just like watching videos from actual pros who know what they're talking about. Yeah, for Procreate specifically, you can make multiple layers into a group and they would all still be in the same frame. That way you can, like what I was saying before, you can animate separate elements, but they can be in the same frame. So you can go around animating, like for this case, like the fans first, and then you add one layer to each group, and then you, like, and then that could be like the character layer or the little blue orb layer, like whatever you want. Just keep your layers separate so it's easier to organize. And play around with your timing and see if you want to hold any frames longer. That's also a thing you can do in Procreate. Yeah. Maybe I will play Valheim.
Yeah, but after your animation's done, you only have like 8 more hours.
I'm not gonna be able to finish this. I was gonna animate something else entirely. I was gonna do like an easy small animation of this guy.
Do you know who also said that, Joyce? Who said they couldn't finish anything? The guy who ate the biggest burger. And do you know what he did? He ate that biggest burger, so you can get this animation done.
I feel more confident eating the biggest burger than finishing.
I don't think so. The biggest burger is like,
okay, how
25
big is
pounds.
Okay, biggest burger. Yeah, I think after this I just started working on another completely different animation from scratch, and I kind of left the fan one alone for a bit because I was getting kind of tired of it. And I think I know what I wanted to do with that one, and mostly it's just in-betweening and making sure lines are pretty and stuff. So I wasn't super concerned about that. So I just moved on to this one, which took a lot less brain power and a lot less effort as well because the main body isn't moving. The only thing that is moving is basically a little bit of the puddle, but mainly just both of the arms. So that made everything a lot easier. I think when you're first starting out and you just kind of want to like play around with Procreate, that's like one of the simple things you can do, like make a simple animation where only one element is moving, so you can kind of like get into the groove and not feel super intimidated. Like maybe like a face changing expression, or like someone raising their hand, or a ball bouncing, you know, like the standard stuff that doesn't get you super super scared of animating in Procreate. Because I feel like a lot of animation is, at least for me, or for like non-professionals I guess, getting started is really intimidating because it looks really difficult, but when you actually start doing it, it really isn't. Like, this is pictures moving real fast, you know?
What the
I can't tell if that thing is wearing a weird, like, shirt
what the
and
fuck
its gut is hanging
Joyce?
out.
What do you
It looks like
mean?
its gut's hanging out. Or it's like a frog underbelly.
I was gonna make it so that, like, he looks at his hand and there's like the blue stuff on his hand, and then he just splashes like with both hands really fast, but I'm tired, so I'm gonna just make a loop.
You should make it red.
No, I made it magenta and it looked too much like blood.
Okay,
so
make
I
it.
changed it to blue.
Never mind. Make it like custard. Or what's it called?
You make it green.
Oh, why would you make it green? Then that's frog's blood.
Oh, that's true.
But yeah, I ended up doing the thing where the guy looks at his hand and then slaps the water, the blue stuff real fast. So that was fun. But yeah, for this one there really isn't a lot of like complicated stuff. It's mostly just the two hands to animate, and one thing I like to do when I am animating is I'll do the motion that the character or whatever is doing, so I can get a feel of like the pacing, the timing, and like if I exaggerate it, what it would feel like. So I think when I was doing this, I like lifted my wrists like and slapped it down like a few times just to like get an idea of what an exaggeration of the slapping motion would look like. So it's like with drawing, I always recommend people to like look into the mirror for like face stuff, like expression stuff, or like hand stuff, because like obviously the most like relevant reference you're gonna find is when you can create yourself, because you know exactly what you're looking for. So I think that's particularly useful when animating. I think with the fan one, I think I held like two paper at one point. I wasn't on stream when I was doing this, but I held like two pieces of paper and I was just waving it around in front of the mirror in my room, hoping that no one's gonna come in and see what I'm doing. But yeah, the idea is to like, you want to animate something that looks cool, so like you have to make a cool movement. Yeah, it can't just be like static. Oh, I want this fan to be here, and you don't really know why it has to be here, and you're just thinking about like motions in a very general sense, and like, oh, I want a circular motion, but you don't know like the energy and the timing behind it because you haven't seen the reference or you haven't done it yourself. So yeah, that's my little tip, I guess. But I'm sure like most of you guys who animate probably already do this. But yeah, I don't know how hopeful like my process is actually gonna be to anyone, but people were asking, and I happened to be on stream animating, so I thought, why not just fucking download the VOD or whatever the fuck it's called, and like, I don't know, talk about it. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment, I guess, or just like DM me on Instagram or something. I'll like get back to you like as soon as possible. It's always nice to like help each other out, you know. A self-taught artist gotta stick together.